It's very hard to really try and kind of guess what is going to be the outcome of it. It depends to some extent on how hard the Americans hit, assuming they do go ahead with something. If it's symbolic and light, there may not be much reaction. Don't forget, Syria has already been attacked 3 times by Israel this year, including one very major attack that nobody could ignore because the whole of Damascus was lit up by it. And the Syrians have done nothing. Hezbollah in South Lebanon didn't attack Israel, for example. But those are things that could happen. The Syrians could feel the need to respond in some way, directly, indirectly, Iran using Hezbollah to do something on the border here. But don't forget also that this war has been going on for 2 years, and it is going to go on. It's not going to stop because of what the Americans do. Therefore, reaction of Hezbollah, for example, Syria's main ally here in Lebanon, obviously very much with Iran pulling the strings, is going to be calibrated into that factor that Hezbollah is very much involved in the Syrian struggle. It doesn't really want at this moment to be picking a fight with Israel, for example. So I think it's quite possible, if the strikes happen and they are surgical and self-contained, as it were, and not open-ended, that it could just happen and then move on, as it were, that it could just we could be back, the day after where we are now.
And depending on how much damage the Americans do to the Syrian military assets, I mean, could it tilt the balance in the Syrian civil war, or do you not expect it to do that much damage to Mr. Assad's military strength?
Well, Mr. Obama has said he does not want to kind of let this play into the civil war, but the fact is that the opposition factions are already lining up, preparing, hoping to be able to exploit this, as they tried to do in a smaller way when the Israelis carried out their last strike. They tried to carry out various attacks. They weren't very successful. Maybe they'll have advanced information about what's going to happen this time, maybe not, but they will be trying to exploit it to push forward. So whether Mr. Obama likes it or not, this will, in one way or another, play into the equation, unless he does something very light and symbolic, in which case one wonders why would he bother anyway,